fuck it. Anyways. Hello, beautiful people. This is Unscripted. We're going right in. We're tackling it. So there's going to be a lot of pauses, a lot of ums. But you know what? That's the beauty of Unscripted. So you'll just have to forgive some of the crudeness of this upcoming video. So that being said, my name is Michael Wright. I am one of the hosts of Doesn't Make the Cut.
And I'm Nick D'Angeli, as well as one of the hosts of Doesn't Make the Cut. We're in Unscripted. I think this is episode 2 of Unscripted.
Episode 2, and we're continuing to grow this one here. It's basically our unfiltered thoughts, whatever topic. And this one, as we already hinted in the previous episode of Shazam, we are going to be talking about the complete disarray that is the DC Extended Universe. And boy, do I have a lot to say about what's going on right now. But I will reserve my thoughts, and I will ask you, Nick. Where do you think it all went wrong?
I think it all went wrong way back in, was it 2017, 2018 when the Justice League came out?
That was 17.
17. It is terrible that, what Zack Snyder had to go through with the loss he had to go through, and he had to take time off. Warner Brothers was on this track of just trying to bust things out because they were trying to compete with Marvel. At the same time, they wanted, as Marvel was doing Civil War, they were doing getting all their stuff going in. So Batman versus Superman. Was that an individual movie?
That was an individual movie year before.
The year before. Okay, so yeah, during that one. So then they're trying to get Justice League out right away, and they had to find somebody else. They got Joss Whedon in there. And I truly feel like that's kind of when the downfall started coming with a lot of this stuff. If I were to put it like a pinpoint, a timeline, that's kind of when things kind of just, the way the Justice League ended up just really just took a big toll on things, and it took DC to a minute to get back in. They had some good hits, with Wonder Woman. I really enjoyed the first Aquaman movie. The Shazam, the first Shazam. So there were some good hits, and then it just felt like we just didn't know where it was going. And then with the Snyder Cut that came out a couple years ago, and then now there's just all these sequels that are coming out just haven't really hit that well. And right now we're gonna be the DCU now has James Gunn, who's leading the charge, but that means there's a clean slate on everything, and he did really good. I really enjoyed the Suicide Squad movie he did. And as well as Peacemaker. I loved those. They were such good movies and TV shows that I felt like could be a really good direction. Unfortunately, we're losing a lot of the current roster of the cast that we have, like Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Ben Affleck. We're losing those, but we're gaining hopefully a better standing point with how these DC movies are going.
Yes, it was a gradual decline, unfortunately, and some would argue that it actually did start with Zac because of his original vision of Man of Steel, and that movie in itself was fairly divisive in its own right. But I would agree with you that yes, it did start with 2017's Justice League because it came in way too damn soon, and Batman vs Superman 2016, it was a very rushed attempt to introduce all the characters, and they got some were just these weird cameos in Batman vs Superman. I'm looking at you, Jason Momoa, that's just staring into the camera for a good 10-20 seconds. That's way too uncomfortable to look at. And yeah, that's where it all started. It's just this gradual decline that's been happening the highs are really high and the lows are really low. And unfortunately, I know like James Gunn is getting in a lot of flack for making a lot of rush decisions. A great example is Henry Cavill. Like, he's introduced, everyone is happy that he's come back, and then like the next following weeks, well, guess what? It's just been announced that Henry Cavill is gone. He's gone. Like, and it's just like you're joking, right? Like, there's just a lot of out of touch people within the higher ups here, and it's really showing, and it's really sad to see that. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't want to see these franchises fail. I don't want to see these characters being mistreated like they are right now. But it's just, and something's got to give. You know, so eventually they have to listen to us. Like, because at the end of the day, the fans know what's best, and more often than not, for whatever reason, these big shot studios bring in people who are not really fans, and they just bring in like people who don't know the franchise, who don't respect the lore, and they just make it up as they go. And that's what's been happening in the past 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, yeah, and there's been some hits and some misses, and I think it just bottles down to like it's crazy to see that. I mean, there's been so many like stories and stuff of how Warner Brothers. I mean, we heard it from Zack Snyder, we heard it from David Ayer when the amount of like studio meddling that went into their creative on trying to put out their vision, and it just got sucked out. And it's really unfortunate because when, like, I don't know, it just bottles down to like you have this fan base that loves something, and you kind of just piss all over them when you take away somebody that has a strong passion for it. And I get it, like they have certain directions, they have a lineup, like James Gunn did reveal his lineup, and he's a big DC fan, and like he showed what's going to be coming down the line, which really, like, it looks really good. A lot of it are characters that aren't really well known to the public, I'd say. But I mean, he's good with working with that. I mean, look at Guardians of the Galaxy. Look at the Suicide Squad he recently did. He has a good track record. But it's just it sucks seeing something that had so much like really good potential, and it just got floundered with them trying to compete with Marvel, who's now on just another level on them. But then also too, like, Marvel kind of just like hasn't been hitting as well. So I mean, maybe it's a good time for DC to pick up some stuff on their end.
I agree. Like, they hinted at Doomsday for. No, not Doomsday. Darkseid. They hinted at Darkseid for a very long time. Darkseid at the end of the day is kind of DC's answer to Thanos, and once again, it's been horribly mismanaged, and there's just no direction going on whatsoever, and they're just making up as they go. And there's just, at the end of the day, it could be egos just getting in the way. It could be just Warner Brothers meddling and them getting a lot of cold feet and a lot of knee-jerk reactions to Marvel's success. And what DC, at the end of the day, what DC kind of feels like is kind of the resentful little brother that's just being overshadowed by the big brother, and the big brother that being is Marvel.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And they were able to, find the formula that works. And I just don't believe yeah, there's similarities, but so many differences and so many ways they could just handle their own thing. And I really like, I don't know, that's why I really enjoyed the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and the Matt Reeves Batman. Like, I'm really looking forward to Blue Beetle. I just watched the trailer of that yesterday, It looks really good. I'm looking forward to seeing Jason Momoa's last stand as Aquaman. I know that one's got a little bit of controversy. Same with The Flash as well. But I'm looking forward to Michael Keaton getting back in the suit, and we get to see live action in the movies of Supergirl. So there's some things that I'm really looking forward to. It's just they're in a transitional phase right now.
And speaking of transitional, I think maybe like this is where everything does come full circle of who actually is in charge. It just feels like there's just too many chefs in the kitchen. Everyone's got their own idea of what they want, and I'm going to address the elephant in the room, because some people are actually blaming him for the complete disarray that's happening right now. And it breaks my heart to say this. It breaks my heart to admit it, because at first, back in December, when I was hearing the controversy, I didn't understand what was going on. And it wasn't until I started doing some more research about it. And unfortunately, I think it was kind of the final nail in the coffin, is Dwayne The Rock Johnson sabotaging a lot of the future content of DCEU.
So yeah,
Yes.
what exactly is that? Because I know a little bit on it. I know like he's getting just a lot of backlash to how Black Adam was handled, how it went about. What's more like the research that you were going into on like what's like what has exactly been going on? Because I didn't really see like I thought Black Adam was pretty decent.
Yeah, like it was fine for what it was. Like I felt like I didn't waste my time. I felt like I didn't. It wasn't the worst superhero movie I've seen. But the general gist of it is Dwayne is trying to be the center of attention. He was trying to be the Iron Man, DC's answer to Iron Man. Like he wanted to spearhead this whole thing, and he wanted Black Adam to be behind the helm. And not only that, like he refused to be the bad guy in Shazam. He thought the only worthy opponent for Black Adam was Superman, hence the cameo at the end of that. And from what I understand, I think not only that, there was Dwayne's team actually did do a lot of fabricated statistics about the success of Black Adam, trying to trick Warner Brothers in doing a sequel, which was not the case. And because of, again, it breaks my heart to say this, man, I really do love Dwayne. Like, I grew up with him. So, based on the research, that Dwayne's ego has gone in the way, and it has sabotaged the future of not only Shazam, but right now the only answer, it's really sad to see, is rebooting the entire franchise.
Yeah, damn, that's too bad. Like I can see it in like some aspects. Like because Black Adam, he's a villain.
He is, like, at the end of the day, like, he is supposed to be a villain. He's supposed to be like the Joker to Shazam's Batman, and like, so those two are always meant to be bucking heads. And but Dwayne didn't want to be seen as the bad guy of DC, the DC universe. And yeah, it's just, again, like, I don't know, like it's. And not only that, like during my research as well, like he had a contract in Fast and Furious movies, which once again I love the hell out of them. Will I see the next one? I don't know. It was said in his contract that he's not meant to lose a fight. Hence, when you see the movies progress in these fight scenes in Fast and Furious, you see there's a lot of stalemates, because in there's a lot of egos clashing with each other. One like Vin Diesel, Dwayne, and Jason Statham. Like they all, like, when they do tangle with each other, they usually go in stalemates because their egos are getting in the way.
Yeah, which, like, ego is it makes your head way too big, man, and like, and it's too bad because we, like, I don't know, we as people, like, at least for myself, like, I love, like, seeing if somebody, like, falls. It's about them trying to pick themselves back up, and if you get an ass kicking, like, it shows that you are also human. I would look at that through the character's aspect. Like, you need to fall to rise again. That's really the hard part when it comes, like, I get it, like, big, like, Hollywood blockbuster, like, I mean, you look at the guys back in, like, the 80s and 90s, like, Stallones and Schwarzeneggers, like, kind of, these guys are like the modern day versions of those guys, like The Rock, Diesel, like, all of them. And it's too bad because it's like, you would think somebody would be open to that. And I mean, look at, especially playing a villain, like, we've seen this time and time again with a lot of superhero movies. The best superhero movies are when they have such a compelling villain. Like, look at things with prime example with Dark Knight, with Heath Ledger's Joker. Amazing. You look at Thanos, Josh Brolin in the Infinity Saga, Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther. I mean, you can pinpoint what's her name in not Charlize Theron. I can't remember on that one, but I mean, it pays off to play a damn good villain, and it's too bad that he didn't want to see himself projected in that image, which I don't think it would really hurt his image at all.
No, I don't think it would. Like, at the end of the day, like, it wouldn't. Like, it'd be full circle, because back in his wrestling days, he actually was a villain, and he was a very compelling villain. He was very charismatic.
So good. Yeah.
He was so good. So like, he's one of the greats.
Heel Rock is some of the best, man. Like, that's where he shined. And, like, it's too bad, man, because, like, yeah, he would be kick ass and, like, freaking playing this badass version of Black Adam and not this, like, watered down anti-hero type of person.
No, like, I agree. Like, he should have committed. At the end of the day, he should, like, and I know, like, everyone's always comparing him to the other wrestler-made actors, Dave Bautista and John Cena, like, especially Dave Bautista. He's always challenging himself. He's always exploring new roles. He's always keeping himself humble in that regard. And Dwayne, I love you. I grew up with you. Like, at the end of the day, like, despite all the controversy, I still will watch your movies because I still love you. But I can't help but feel frustrated with you because at the end of the day, you just gotta put that ego aside and just embrace what the original vision is supposed to be, and please respect the source material.
Yeah, like, I totally get it. Like, he said that they've been trying to get this movie up off the ground for years and years. It's visions change, and like, but I don't think it's fair to put all the blame on him for what's going on. I mean, like we just said, like, I mean, Warner Brothers DC has kind of been going down the hill for years now.
For years. It's been lukewarm since since the beginning. Like, Man of Steel, that was 10 years ago. Fuck off, that was 10 years ago.
That's crazy. I really love that one. I think it's a shame I guess Batman vs Superman is technically maybe could be considered like a Superman 2, but not really.
Yeah, like, it kind of is, kind of not. It was more like an introduction to the entire Justice League characters, and I think, but you are right. I think right now, like, everyone's trying to figure out who to blame, and at the end of the day, like, it's just the franchise as a whole, Warner Brothers, the studio execs, and I think at the end of the day, they just need to trust in the license that they have at the end, because DC, like, they're one of the top superhero IPs for a reason. They don't need to worry about competing with Marvel. What should have happened is them gradually taking their time, because if you think about it, it took 4 years for the Avengers to finally assemble. And Marvel knew what they were doing in phase one. They knew that they had to add some finesse within weaving all these characters and making one badass popcorn flick. Which in this case, unfortunately, they started running before they learned how to walk.
Exactly. That's exactly it, man. And yeah, they were trying to just pull the trigger on way too fast. They're wreaking the consequences they put in there, and that just shows like it's quality over quantity. And I feel like that's kind of what a lot of all these studios need to reevaluate what the hell they're doing right now, because yeah, it's amazing, like as a comic fan, as a movie fan, just like it's amazing seeing all these heroes and villains and everything, putting some good cast to it. Like, it's amazing seeing, but I would much rather prefer waiting on a damn good movie instead of getting 4 or 5 movies that are like half-assed annually, but just taking your time, like, really build up on what you're wanting to show for, so we do get all these. And and it's like they got these timelines, but at the same time, like, just focus on what's in front of you right now and make that so damn good, and you just keep doing that. And yeah, like, honestly, like, that could be just the best method on there, is just quality over quantity.
I agree. I'm going to give the reboot the benefit of the doubt, because at the end of the day, it's sad to say that the bar is already so low right now. And to an extent, like, it's still sad to see that, again, these are fantastic characters. They all have great stories behind them to back it up. It's just unfortunate to see that it's always Batman that still stays on top, when, like Green Lantern, whether it's Hal Jordan or John Stewart, those two can hold their own as well, or even obviously Kal-El. Like, they all have a presence. Just, it frustrates me to see that this is what it's come to. And yeah, I'm gonna have to wait and see. I'm not gonna make any judgments until I actually see whatever is coming next. I think the next DC movie is Flash, I believe, and I know that one's a controversial in its own right because of Ezra Miller being absolutely insane. And yeah,
Yeah, he is something else, man. Like, cannot.
he is. Like, I'm just like, it's scary. Like, anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that.
No, man, I still can't believe they're still having, like, if they're still rolling with the ball, there's something big with it that's bigger than him playing as the Flash. I feel like that's why they're still releasing it, because if it was anything else, like, they would have scrapped it. And, like, I don't know, man, even their previous lineup and all that stuff. But I just hope, yeah, I'm seeing with you, man. I'm being open to this next chapter in the DCEU. I'm really glad, though, that they are gonna be having the movies, the animated movies and shows, all the shows, HBO shows, they're coming out, the comic book lines, like, they're all gonna be coming into just one, like, all just wrapped into one, which I'm really looking forward to, because I don't know, I enjoy that, and I enjoy seeing, like, we can get those other stories in this world building, like, that. I feel like could be something really what DC needs right now, is just to focus on just one world, and then eventually, yeah, you can get to that Marvel base somewhere. Now Marvel's just going about into all these different universes, and just focus on what's going on right now. And let's we'll go from there, and we'll see what happens in the next few years. I'm looking forward to what's gonna be going down the line. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to everyone else's thoughts on what you guys think of DC right now and what you're looking forward to.
What more can you say? What's already been said's been said. This is our 2 cents of the fall of DCEU. Will it be like the Phoenix and it'll come back stronger in the next life? I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. So if you made it this far, I'm going to make it a proper introduction this time. If you made it this far, please give us a like, comment, subscribe. It really does help the channel out. And like what Nick says, what are your guys' thoughts? Don't be afraid to be part of the conversation. We do read the comments. We do love to try to interact with some of you out there. But yeah, anyways, peace.